All right, cool. So we are here with Derek, CSO at Smart Recognition. Derek, thanks for being here. And can you just briefly start by describing, what your business does and what your target market is?
Yeah, for sure. So smart recognition essentially is a service that allows customers to identify their anonymous website traffic. So essentially we provide you a pixel, you put it in the header or footer of your website or the body of your website, and we have a whole database of data that will allow you to match that specific email based on a device fingerprint. So essentially it matches the email address, shoots it back over to whatever workflow or ESP you want for you to retarget and essentially monetize that opportunity.
Yeah, that's good.
If you have any type of online marketing, I mean, the ICP, we really focus on the e-com space, but this does work for anybody that relies on website traffic to drive revenue.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so far we've only targeted e-com really. To give you some context, e-com is pretty competitive, with cold email specifically. So can you just talk about how many deals you've closed from our service so far, and if there are any other deals in the pipeline?
Yeah, for sure. I think we've been working with you, what, 4, 5 months now, something like that. And it took us
Yeah, 6 months probably.
a little bit to dial in on the ICP, on who we were targeting, the messaging. I think it's really starting to ramp up and get consistent as far as demos booked to demos, given, and the closing cycle is actually shortening on those as well. I think so far we've gotten 8 deals, so all in all, it's going very, very well. We actually have 4 active working in the pipeline, in discovery and compliance and all this other stuff. So it's going well.
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, just to give some context, we've been working for, probably 6 or a few more months. I've generated 32 qualified demos so far. So yeah, 8 deals closed. Yeah, I think it's pretty good, and with some in the pipeline as well. Yeah, pretty good. So what is the quality of the meetings that you've gotten so far? Are they qualified in general?
In general, yeah. Last month, I think we went 8 for 8 as far as qualified goes. Actually, 2 months ago. Last month, you sent, I think it was 7 total, 6 qualified, 2 actually closed same month, same week. So it seems like, we're the target's right. And, like I said, that closing cycle is definitely getting shorter, for sure.
Good. Cool. Happy to hear. So, can you briefly describe and talk about why did you start to work with us in the beginning, and what were you struggling with, what you're looking for before our partnership, what you're doing to get leads and to get meetings and close deals before our partnership?
Yeah. Well, we were looking. We're kind of in a unique situation. We have a couple other different companies that could all benefit from this, software, this technology. So we utilize this internally for our other businesses. We've seen that there was a there. It was, going very well for our internal businesses. So we realized that there's a product, there's a service that we can offer that would help, other people, reach some growth that they're looking for. So at first we were just going after those internal customers. We got some traction, and we said, okay, this is working for them. Let's go a little wider. And one of our companies is a marketing company. And so we were just doing the traditional, Facebook ads, standard marketing, some newsletter placements, things like that, and pushing that over to one of our guys, to follow up, set the demo, and then actually host or do the demo. We then realized, okay, that's working, but it's not consistent. We hired an internal hunter, BDR, SDR rep to go after and, scrape some lists and go after some of our target audience that way. It's a slow process when you're just doing, an individual person doing it, having to build, get the deliverability where it needs to be and whatnot. So we started looking at outsourcing companies. We interviewed probably, 10, 12 different companies. Signed with a couple. A lot of them were, looking for high retainers. We did sign a couple of them. And then, we came across you guys that, understood where we were at as a startup, which, a lot of our struggles were as a startup company. It's a little difficult. You're on a tight budget. And with you guys, you were able to work with us and making sure the price made sense to kick things off for us. And basically, what I really liked was, look, we'll show you what we can do. If they're qualified people, you pay us for them. And that stood out amongst all the other companies that we work with or currently work with, even on paying on a pay-per-demo, pay-per-call situation, which really helped, especially again being a startup. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. That definitely helps. And in terms of like, you said you were using an in-house guy but that was basically difficult to figure out the role and all of that stuff. I mean, that all makes sense. Like, I've seen this pattern from many other clients, many other prospects I spoke to, in terms of like they were using someone in-house, but it wasn't really working. And then I go in their campaign, what they're doing, and see everything is messed up. And I mean, to me, that's obvious. You're not getting results because there's not just the email copy or not just the targeting. There's a whole lot of different things you need to keep in mind of. You need to make sure are on point to make this work. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
and
it.
that's what I like about you guys is, if you weren't happy or satisfied, you're never satisfied with your conversions. Even when we're having the great months, 8 for 8, closing 2 in a week, it's like, okay, how can we get better? What can we do, to get more of that target audience? What can we do to get more of the 2 that closed in the same week? And you're constantly, I guess, just not satisfied. And I think that's what makes this relationship work well, is even when you're the most successful, it's like, okay, well, how do we get better? How do we get more of what made this such a successful month? And that's unlike any of the other outsourcing companies that we're using, and it kind of go back to, us attempting to do this internally with our guy. We're strictly outsourced now. We use you and another couple companies, and you guys are much better than any of the other companies that we're using. So now, like we had a conversation earlier, like how do we get more? What can we do to scale this even further? And there's always ways, and I like the back and forth, weekly calls that we have, the brainstorming, the transparency on a weekly basis. I mean, your reporting is hands down the best that we see as far as from a communication. This is what we did this week. This is what we accomplished. And I think that transparency, especially for a startup company, is extremely important. When we're paying per demo, we know that you're not just sitting on your hands. You're out there working. You're out there working to get us qualified people, essentially help us grow.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Great. All right, cool. Well, thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Anything you'd say to anyone who's kind of on the fence about working with us?
Yeah, I'd say do it. I mean, straightforward, do it. Someone that's again interviewed and hired a number of different outsourcing companies. There's a lot of promises out there, and there's not a lot of people that deliver like you guys do. So I'd say do it. Get off the fence. The only way you're going to know is to get in the game, and you'll be in good hands with these guys. I can assure you that.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you.